All right, we're live in the Business Boost Group. Happy Memorial Day to I don't know if we should say Happy Memorial Day, but it is a holiday here in the States. And I want to thank you for being with us, Jamie. We have Jamie Davidoff, amazing leadership coach, and she has so many more titles than that. She does so much more. So welcome, Jamie.
Thank you so much, Karen. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh. And thank you for taking time out of your building and putting all your plants in your greenhouse. How cool is that?
Yes, the greenhouse project has been a lot of fun.
I think so. I've seen it. All right, let me see if I see where we are. Oh, we're on. I believe we're live. Usually I always want to check the group to make sure that we're here. Oh, there we are. Oh, we look beautiful. And hi, Iris. So good to see you. And Andrea, good morning. Okay, we've got some peeps here. And sometimes if they're not on Be Live, we can't see them in the studio. And I want to give a big shout out to BeLive.tv because I got very confused with Facebook Live, and now here we are. So, Jamie, you are thriving during this time in the world, and I that's why I want to ask you here to share with the coaches. You know, I'm the voice of optimism. I know that our businesses and we can thrive and be healthy. So, tell us a little bit about yourself and your business. What do you do, and who are the clients that you serve?
Well, I live in Calgary, Alberta, in Canada, and I serve clients all over North America, primarily executive and leadership people in those leadership roles, primarily leaders of leaders. And I'm also an organizational culture consultant. So I just really love working with leaders of leaders so that they can make a larger positive impact.
Oh yeah, can you imagine the ripple effect of leaders of leaders? Wow. So Jamie, our I guess it's a podcast or an interview series. It's called What's Working Now. So I want to find out, what do you see that's working now with these leaders of leaders in the world in terms of your business?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, what I'm finding is the leaders of leaders are the ones that are really making headway are people that have been able to pivot very quickly, and they're willing to and able to adapt. And so coaching can really support them to do that when they're ready for that. A lot of it is like you're talking about optimism, being optimistic, being transparent as well. Like this is a hard time, so being open with their teams and making it okay for their team members to also be open. Moving forward anyway, like we need to do as coaches.
Yes, and Jamie, I want to ask you. So, for the coaches who are watching, your business is flourishing with these leaders of leaders. What do you attribute that to for you as a coach?
The one thing that I could really point to is, if I'm coaching somebody who's trying to help somebody else learn and grow and develop so that they can bring their best to work, I need to be doing that myself as a coach. And so taking ongoing courses, connecting with community. So, I mean, your Quick Start Intensive combines both of those because, there's a learning and growing in terms of how to keep going with marketing and adapting as coach to our new reality with our marketing, but also having community and support in doing that. It's huge. Yeah.
Yes, and I know that one of the reasons I chose you to share what's working now is because you have been successful even during the time of the pandemic. And so just the fact that you're still working with clients, you're working with those leaders of leaders, they're still paying for coaching. Really want coaches to hear this, because sometimes coaches will say, well, where are the clients, or everybody's, quarantined at home. No, stuff is still going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's still going on.
It is. It is. And I mean, one of the things that I wanted to share was, so I've been coaching for 18 years. And I've had periods of time where I've had a subcontract with a larger coaching organization and times when I didn't. And I just want to put that out there that it's the times when I've had that support, support meaning where I'm not having to do all the business development myself, that can really provide a solid foundation to have a subcontract. So right now I do have a subcontract. That gives me a solid foundation on which to continue to do my own marketing for my direct clients.
Yes, and it gives you clients for, I know you're applying for your MCC, so it gives you more hours for your credentialing. And Jamie, if there were some coaches that wanted to find out a little bit about the organization or organizations that you're working with, could they just type something in the comments and you can hook up with them and message them and let them know?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'd love to do that.
This is such a great idea for coaches. So in addition, alongside your own business, which you always want to have going, to have another business that is promoting you, and especially a lot of leadership coaches, there are a few different companies. And Jamie has, I don't know, I mean, I have a couple ideas too. So if you want to know, let us know. And especially if you're a leadership coach and you've been coaching for a little bit, certain companies are looking for help, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it gives, as a coach, it gives you, it provides you with clients that you might not normally have directly on your own. So it can give you a lot of insight into larger organizations.
Beautiful. So, Jamie, I do want to ask a couple more questions, but I'm going to take a little detour and say, because this is what's working now, what's working for you in this self-quarantining or opening up time of the pandemic?
Yeah, well, we've had to adjust, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah. So part of me, like you, actually sees possibility. When there's change, even though there's things that we have to let go of, there's lots of new things to look forward to. And so it's a matter of being creative about finding out what that is, because nobody knows what it is in the moment. And so I would say, the things that we do in the Quick Start Intensive are very helpful. So trying out different marketing approaches, staying connected. So staying connected is, with colleagues, your community, but also with your clients and your past clients, and looking at ways of connecting with new clients that might not have, for instance, looked at online or virtual coaching. And, I do training programs as well. So they might have wanted that to all be in person before. And now they are more open to looking at doing online programming. On Friday, I did a 2-hour professional development session with a whole organization. And so it's like I had to shift from what was going to be something in person to something that was online. And I'm saying have to. It actually ended up being really productive and valuable. So being willing to, what I'm finding too with leaders, and same with us as coaches, is if you go in with a frame of mind of, well, I'll just wait and see what happens, or this will pass, so I'll just wait to do something new. That doesn't work, and it doesn't work right now, but it didn't even work before COVID because of our environment has changed. Things are changing all the time. So this has just really highlighted to me the need for agility and adaptivity.
And it's so interesting because, Jamie, we coaches are such change agents in the world, and it's kind of exciting. I mean, I know there's a lot of suffering. I know there's a lot of problems, but in a way, there's also this excitement of, this is our time to shine. Like we can help lead the leaders through all these changes. Are you finding that?
Absolutely. And when you can be in that position where, for instance, you're working with a leader of leaders who is doing something really well, you're learning the best practices, right? So that you can support other people with those as well. Yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly what your question was, but that's what popped in my mind as an answer.
It's all good with the interview. Is there any? Would you mind sharing any specific results of yours, like clients, dollars, anything that you could share with the coaches to really inspire them?
Yeah, so there's a couple of, from different angles here. So one is working with leaders of leaders. A lot of those leaders of leaders were promoted to their current roles through our coaching, through the time period of our coaching. And so some of the results were them feeling confident enough and getting through imposter syndrome, so to speak, to be able to even ask for what they wanted for a role, and really understanding what their purpose was and their intention was behind that next step for themselves, and aligning what they truly wanted for themselves with asking for the career that worked for that. And so over the last year, I've had 5 clients that were promoted to like VP level global positions.
Wow.
Yeah. And then coaching them becomes about how do you transition and how do you become more strategic and less in the weeds, right? Which can be difficult because if you're used to holding on to or benefiting from creating tangible results, it's different when you're a leader of leaders, right? Because you're now learning and growing your people to do that. So I would say increased strategic thinking, increased confidence, and an increased ability to leverage and influence across their organization and with stakeholders. The other is when I work with like a leader or owner of an organization or a CEO, where maybe I start working with them, but then they've brought me in to work with their executive team. And then that has then expanded to be working with their whole organization on things like leadership development, Dare to Lead, which I'm a certified facilitator for, or values-based organizational culture initiatives.
So
And
I want.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
So the results of those types of initiatives are people working more collaboratively together, being more productive together, and once that starts happening, then the focus then becomes about the clients even more so, because now those inner workings of the organization have smoothed out, and people are now ready to focus more so on the clients and growing their client base.
Jamie, you got me so excited. I mean, I want every coach who's listening to this to hear how Jamie speaks about her clients, because her clients' results are so important. And if you could also speak about your clients' results in these ways to potential clients, like, if I were a leader of leaders right now, I mean, I suppose I could be a little bit of a leader of leaders, but if I were back in semiconductor manufacturing as the president of the company, when I was listening to this, I would be just mesmerized by it, because that kind of results oriented speaking is what brings in clients. Yeah. So Jamie, I have one more question for you. Well, actually two, but one more. And I want to invite anyone who's here listening to us live. If you have any questions for Jamie, type them in the chat and we'll look at that in a moment. But Jamie, what has it meant to your life to be able to have these kind of results in your coaching right now in the middle of this pandemic?
Well, that's a good question. I just feel like I feel so grateful for the opportunity to work with leaders of leaders and to support them to bring more of themselves. To me, that's just like bring more of themselves, be more authentic, create results within their organizations. But that just makes me feel really great. Like it's so aligned with my values. As you know, I used to be a corporate leader myself, and I don't know. I'm very excited about possibilities for people and seeing them actually act on them. So it's just very fulfilling.
And also, I would think that knowing that you have income coming in and
Mm.
even during this pandemic, and that you could get your greenhouse and put it up with your husband in your backyard. Like there are benefits to you as a person to knowing that your
Yes.
business is moving forward and that your income is coming in.
Absolutely. Because, having that income coming in allows me to live the life that I want to live. And it provides stability, right? When we don't feel that we have that stability financially, that's a different kind of feeling. So yes, being able to thrive during this time, I'm filled with gratitude for that, but there's also the tangible benefits that are so important. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So let's see if we have any questions here. We've got some good mornings. We've got somebody interested in subcontracting. Oh, you're definitely a leader of leaders. Yes, we all are leaders, right? I love what you said about the transition as a leader from getting tangible results themselves to helping their leaders get results. That is so true, isn't it, Jamie? Like all of
Yes.
us,
Yes.
need to know more about this. All right. So any other questions? I'm kind of looking at the screen. Welcome to Rachel and Maeve and Melanie. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Okay, so I don't see any other questions. So Jamie, kind of the last question I want to ask you is what advice would you give to a coach out there who's wondering how to keep their business healthy during this time?
Mm-hmm. Well, I would definitely recommend Quick Start Intensive.
There's a plug. There's a good client.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, I worked with you for 3 years or so one-on-one. And, and then with this more recent Quick Start Intensive, and I found that extremely valuable right now because there's tangible steps to take that I would not hold myself accountable to if I was just starting out doing that. And there's new things that I've learned through Quick Start Intensive that are really helpful specifically right now as well. In that program, there's Karen, you've assigned me to a learning partner, and we are just enjoying so much working together, and we're brainstorming and coming up with new ideas for our marketing as well. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Thank you, Jamie. And I know, like, just underneath all of that is having the sense of community, having people to share with, having a coach during this time. Like all of those are embodied in the QSI Quick Start, but they're also things that I think every coach, no matter if you were in this program or not, could start looking for, especially that partnership with brainstorming with another
Mm-hmm.
coach like that,
Yes.
or having a community of coaches, or having your own coach. And I'm always putting a plug in for this, like no matter what. And I'll put it in here too, because I can see you're glowing, and I remember when we started working together, and up until now, like your own confidence, your own business results and income have just, exploded. And that's
Mm-hmm.
because of the work that you've been willing to do, Jamie. And it also is because you've hired a coach. I do the same. I mean, for me, I hire a coach, and I'm just saying to everyone on this call, anyone listening, if you haven't hired a coach and you're asking people to pay you for coaching, it's a little bit of an energetic mismatch. Now, it can still work. I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but what do I want to say? The exponential results of you getting clients will happen when you're doing your own work. And Jamie, I know you're humble. I mean, we both are humble with our coaches. We share what we want, what is going on with us, and clear out all those blockers. And so I just want to say you are a shining example of a coach that does her own work and that is really thriving.
Thank you, Karen. Well, coaching is such a co-creative process, right? And you've been able to, like, you provide that space for me to be able to work through those blocks. And so I really appreciate that. And yeah, I can't imagine not having a coach. it's one thing that I say to people in our introductory session is I have my own coach because I believe in this process.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Any parting words for the coaches out there? Words of optimism, words of truth?
Yes. Well, I always think about to remember we get what we focus on. So if you can focus on what is possible, and let that positive energy drive your momentum and keep going, like keep your vision alive, and keep learning and growing through this time, right? You said Andrea was on the call. I'm thinking about website updates. Andrea updated my website. Like, do what you can right now to boost your business, but more importantly, in the midst of that, boost yourself. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jamie. And thank you for being such an inspiration to all coaches out there. And so I want to say goodbye to everyone. Have a great day on or off, whatever you're doing today. And we'll see you back on Thursday for another interview. And we're also replaying other interviews of successful coaches this week. So stay tuned. Thank you, Jamie. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.